Key steps in the targeting process as outlined in the Joint UNHCR-WFP Guidance for Targeting Assistance to Meet Basic Needs. The targeting process takes place across each stage of the program cycle, during the assessment, design, implementation and monitoring phases, as outlined in the UNHCR-WFP Joint Targeting Guidance. This process takes place in 9 key steps. The first step is registration. Registration data is a key source for understanding the population of concern. While registration of refugees is sometimes undertaken by governments, it is often conducted by UNHCR using Progress, their database and case management system that is used to record and update refugee data. This is often used for the sampling of the population for assessments and to identify cases that are eligible for assistance during implementation. The second step is assessment and analysis. Good targeting depends on robust needs assessment data and analysis. This phase has 3 key objectives: to identify the number of people in need, to understand vulnerabilities, characteristics and protection needs, and to inform response options, targeting decisions and implementation approaches. It is crucial to analyze the protection risks alongside a population's vulnerability to food insecurity and economic poverty to inform the targeting process and eligibility criteria. The third step is deciding whether targeting is appropriate. Targeting is not appropriate in all contexts. In certain settings, the cost of needs-based targeting may be higher than providing assistance to all. Considerations such as the political and legal environment, physical access, social cohesion, protection risks and resources need to be weighed alongside the benefits. The fourth step is selecting the targeting methodology. No targeting method is perfect, and usually a combination of approaches is the most appropriate and effective as they mitigate the limitations and reduce errors. Factors such as risks and security, resources, accountability, and community engagement need to be considered. The next step is defining the eligibility criteria. Eligibility criteria are context-specific. They represent common characteristics of those in need to determine whether an individual or household will be targeted to receive assistance. They should be feasible to implement and updated on a regular basis. Community participation in defining and validating eligibility criteria should be ensured, and the criteria should be protection sensitive and associated with outcome indicators. The sixth step is validating the targeting methods and criteria through the use of quantitative analysis and qualitative approaches such as community consultations. The main objectives of validating the targeting methods are to estimate the expected inclusion and exclusion errors associated with the chosen targeting method and criteria, to compare the effectiveness of different targeting methods and criteria, to assess the appropriateness of the chosen method for the specific context, to inform the program design in terms of guiding mitigation strategies, referrals to other programs, and design of complaints and feedback mechanism, and to ensure the validation of the targeting approach and criteria from persons of concern to ensure they are part of the targeting process. The seventh step is communications, appeals, and feedback mechanisms, ensuring timely communication around the targeting process and eligibility criteria, having in place a robust appeals process for those not identified as eligible for assistance but who feel they should be included, and having complaints and feedback systems in place, while ensuring accessibility to communication and feedback mechanisms for refugees, regardless of age, gender, or other characteristics. This helps to ensure accountability to refugees, to inform adjustments to the targeting approach, and the updating of refugee data. The eighth step is identification and implementation. This involves the production of beneficiary lists, often generated from UNHCR's Progress database, and the disbursement or distribution of assistance to those targeted. The ninth and final step is monitoring. Regular monitoring of the process, such as whether refugees receive their assistance in a timely and safe manner, and monitoring of outcomes linked to programmatic objectives. The findings are used to adjust the targeting, address errors, and inform programmatic decisions. So there we have the 9 key steps in the targeting process.